Hey everyone, my name is Jade Bradley, and I just want to answer a couple questions pertaining to Vygotsky's social cultural learning theory. We had a case study, and in this scenario, we had a little boy named Mason who's a seventh grader, and in his math class, he's learning about computing fractions. His teacher gave out a test, and on this test, he keeps drawing a blank. So he goes home, and it's the weekend, and he's watching a basketball game with his sister, and during this basketball game, he's keeping up with the stats of these shooters based on their shot percentage. So by the end, he has all of their statistics and what percentage they would be at their best to shoot free throws. So with that being said, I'll go into question number one. And question number one says, how might Vygotsky explain the role of other people in shaping Mason's math skills in the context? So Vygotsky might conclude that these individuals could be his teacher or people in his family, people that he's surrounded by the majority of the time. In this specific case study scenario, we could say that could be his sister that he's watching the basketball game with. These people shape him because his teacher taught him the information and he's learning how to compute it. He's not quite there yet, but he's learning. His family can be considered influential because he did actually compute the shooter shot percentages, which is basically like computing fractions, which he's supposed to be doing on his math test. So Mason knows the material, but he's just not making a connection with it on paper because maybe there's a language barrier that his teacher is not noticing. And maybe if she could make a connection to basketball or something that interests him, he would do a lot better. So Vygotsky said that he viewed learning as an active social interaction in which a student constructs knowledge through discovery and experiments. Mason didn't think he knew the math on paper, but because of the social influence of the basketball game, he quickly knew how to compute fractions in terms of shooting percentages. This is what he did at the end of the basketball game, and he kept up with their stats. We're going to go on to question number two. Question number two states that knowing Mason's behaviors, how might a teacher work with him to improve his performance on the fractions and percentages according to Vygotsky's ideas / concepts on teaching and learning? So I would say that the zone of proximal development, which defines the difference between the child's independent learning accomplishments and accomplishments under the guidance of a person who is more competent at the task at hand, this would be his teacher. His teacher could do some more one-on-one time with him and teach him the material that he needs to learn at a different pace so that he can learn it to his fullest. This could go straight into scaffolding, which is a strong teacher support, which is gradually reduced as the student approaches desired learning outcome. So the teacher could support him and do one-on-one training, basically, until he learned how to compute those fractions. So in conclusion, I would say Mason knows his material and he knows how to compute the fractions, but he just needs something that is relatable and basically basketball. So I just wanted to thank y'all for watching my video, and I hope you could learn a little something. Thanks.